The first thing we do when we're doing any type of breathing practice is just to check in with the posture. Make sure you're sitting nice and tall. Give yourself a little bit of movement, open up the spine, relax out the shoulders and the neck. Just a little stretch. And when you're sitting up nice and tall, you're creating room in your torso to breathe. So if you think of the breathing muscles, the diaphragm and the ribs, they need space to breathe. So even just lengthening the spine and opening through the body will help the breathing muscles. So sitting nice and tall. The next thing to check in with your breathing is to just place a hand on the chest and one down here lower, and just close your eyes and take a moment to breathe as you are now without trying to change it, and just noticing where the breathing is happening. So noticing if it's more upper chest breathing, if you can feel the belly move, maybe both hands are moving at the same time. Just checking in. So hopefully your breath is happening more in the lower part of the torso, and that is more functional breathing, and that keeps the body nice and calm and relaxed, because that signals that you're using the diaphragm, the ribs to breathe, and that's more functional for our health, and it taps into the parasympathetic nervous system, which keeps us nice and calm and relaxed. So if the breathing is more upper chest, it might signal a little bit of fast breathing or busy mind or slightly anxious. So it's always something to be aware of, and always something that you can check in with just by placing your hands there, and you can switch the breathing then. If you notice that you're more upper chest and you're breathing fast, see if you can get the belly and the ribs moving so you're breathing lower. We're getting the lower lungs, we're getting the diaphragm, and we're getting the ribs involved, which is just a more beautiful way to breathe, and it's tapping into the receptors of the parasympathetic nervous system, which will calm the body down just by breathing lower into the body. And then we'll just do a little exercise to breathe lower. So bringing the hands around the ribs. So you're holding on to the ribs. You can nearly bring your fingertips in there to the edges of the ribs. And you're breathing out. As you breathe in, you can feel the ribs expand out. And as you breathe out, the ribs come in. So it's really exaggerated, but it's just to bring awareness to where we should be breathing more into and kind of exercise in that area. So inhale, you'll feel the ribs move out and expand. And exhale, feel the ribs move back in. And also, as the ribs are expanding and contracting, the diaphragm is moving. And when we get the diaphragm moving more, it's again more functional breathing and better for the nervous system and the mind. Lovely. And then you can release the hands and just bringing that awareness into the next exercise. So we're breathing lower down here. There will be chest movements, but breathing lower into the belly and the ribs and keeping the torso nice and tall and keeping the face relaxed, the shoulders relaxed, so there's no signals of tension in the body. We're nice and relaxed. And then the mouth is closed gently and the top of the tongue rests up on the roof of the mouth. So this is kind of nice to kind of close off, that we're not speaking or locking in the tongue. It gives us kind of something to concentrate on, but it also opens the airways as well. Opening the airways. And when we breathe in and out through the nose, keep the mouth closed, we're further opening the airways through the nasal passage. Nitric oxide is released, and it is a gas that helps the nasal dilator and an airway dilator. So that will, breathing through the nose alone will help open up the airways. So just keeping the body relaxed, but you're still slightly alert and feeling a little bit of movement in the belly and the ribs, keeping the mouth closed gently, the tongue resting on the roof of the mouth, and breathing in and out through the nose and trying to concentrate on the breath. And anytime the mind jumps in and out, trying to distract you, just gently bring yourself back to your breath. And then we're going to try to create an equal breath. So we're going to aim for 5 seconds inhale and 5 seconds exhale. But if that's too long for you, you can just bring it to 4 or bring it down to 3 seconds, whatever you're comfortable with. You're just matching your inhale with your exhale. So we're creating a balanced breath. And that again is really functional breathing and really great for the nervous system and the mind and all the systems in the body. Beneficial for the hormones, the brain, the digestion, everything. It will just work really well when we're breathing a balanced, equal breath. So it's low down in the body, the mouth is closed, so we're breathing through the nose and we're creating an equal breath. So I'll just count the first few breaths and then you can just count on your own. So as we breathe in and out, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. In through the nose and out through the nose. Just continue with your own breath that you're comfortable with for another minute. Then the next part of functional breathing is to breathe lighter, breathe less air. So to bring some awareness to how much air we're taking in and out, you can place your index finger underneath your nose and just breathe as you normally were there. But noticing how much air you can feel coming in and out of your nose onto your finger, and then trying to lighten the air or take in less air or breathe quieter. So feeling the air on the finger, can you feel less air? Breathe a little bit quieter. You're controlling the breath a little bit more. We're taking in less air, which might feel like you need a big deep breath, but if you just stay with it, breathing lightly, it actually brings more oxygen into the body, so it's better for our overall health and energy. Just quieten the breath down. Feel less air coming in and out of the nose. And you can drop the hand and then just continue the breathing for another few minutes, integrating all of that together. We're breathing low, we're breathing in and out through the nose, equal breaths, and breathing light. Posture is tall, shoulders are relaxed. All the focus and awareness is on our breath. You can count your breath or notice the subtle movements in the body as you breathe, or notice if you can hear your breath and can you breathe less air so that you can't hear your breath so much. And that in itself is just more functional breathing. And the more that you practice that, all of those things integrated together, the more that you practice that, the more that your breathing will become more functional and better throughout the day and throughout sleep and throughout exercise. We should be breathing through the nose, breathing less air, breathing more quietly. And you may notice some signals from the body when you do breathe like that. some things that can happen is the temperature in the body rises slightly, maybe more saliva in the mouth, or some gurgling in the belly, little signals from the body that you're tapping into the parasympathetic nervous system, which means you're relaxed and you're calm. So we'll add some breath retentions, which is just holding the breath for a couple of seconds, pausing the breath. Unless you have, unless you're pregnant or you have heart or blood pressure issues, holding the breath is not advised. Otherwise, you're safe enough to do so. So the same length of breath that you just had. So if you notice that you're breathing for 3 or 4 seconds, you can stay with that, and that's your kind of comfortable breath that you're at the moment. So your inhale and exhale stays the same, and your pause or retention is half of that. So let's say mine is 5. I'll inhale for 5 seconds. I'll pause at the top of my inhale for about 2.5 seconds, and then exhale for 5 and pause for 2.5. So if you're breathing for 3 seconds, it's 1.5, and then so half the time. Just a little pause, not like a forceful pause, just a gentle pause of the breath at the end of the inhale, the end of the exhale. This is beneficial to train your breath, to bring more awareness to the breath. Pausing the breath is also great for the exchange of gases in when you're breathing. So practice it and for the next couple of minutes and see how it feels. If you're someone who is anxious and kind of feels highly stressed at the minute, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable to hold the breath. But even if you can notice the breath pause for 1 second, it's really beneficial for you, and it actually helps quieten the mind. So it's really beneficial for anyone with anxiety. But if you don't feel comfortable with a few seconds, just bring it down a bit. So back to comfortable seat, no tension in the face or the neck. You can even kind of massage out if there's any tension there. Roll out the shoulders. Sitting tall and breathing low. So the diaphragm, the lower lungs, and the ribs are moving. The mouth is closed, and if you can, rest the tongue on the roof of the mouth. We're breathing through the nose, but we're breathing lightly, so less air, not over breathing, which a lot of us tend to do. Breathing lightly, quieting down the breath, breathing less air, which brings more oxygen into our cells. And then we're counting the breath. Inhale through the nose. Pause at the top of the inhale. Exhale through the nose. And pause at the end of the exhale. The mind is busy, your thoughts are distracting you. Just come back to counting the breath. Notice the pace of the breath. Notice if you can hear your breath and if you can breathe a little bit lighter, quietening down the breath. Notice if there's that feeling of needing a big, deep breath. Just creating a little bit of hunger for breath. But it's just retraining to breathe lightly again. Quietly, gently, slowly. Then come back to just regular in and out through the nose when you're ready. We'll practice one more breathing exercise, which is lovely when you are feeling overwhelmed or stressed or highly anxious in any moment and you need a kind of big de-stress breath. This is a really quick, fast way to get into the parasympathetic nervous system and calm the body down. So if you think about how it's all linked, when we're breathing up here and breathing fast and in and out through the mouth, kind of creates panic and taps us into sympathetic nervous system, which goes into kind of fight or flight mode, which creates busy mind. Faster mind creates, again, down back into the breath to breathe faster and more quickly. Fast and quick means in and out through the mouth and up into the chest, just like a panicked breath would be. So it's creating that loop of kind of panic or stress. Busy, fast mind, fast breath, and then tense body. And when the body's tense, it signals back to the brain. Yes, there's panic and fear here. So back to the breath. So it's all communicating with each other. But if we can interrupt it and notice, even by doing that, placing the hand, notice, oh yeah, I'm breathing more up here. I can interrupt the cycle and slow down my breathing. When we close our mouth and breathe in and out through the nose, we're automatically slowing down our breathing because this is a big hole to be breathing in and out of. And it's breathing unfiltered air into our body, straight into the back of the lungs, cold, unfiltered, harsh, fast air. But when we go back to nasal breathing, it's smaller holes, so it's slowing down the air, it's warming the air, it's filtering the air. When that air is coming into the body, it already feels more calm. And when we're breathing down into the diaphragm and the ribs, it's the soothing part of the nervous system. So that signals to the body, everything's good here. We're all good. There's no stress. We're all nice and calm. The breath is warm and slow. And then the mind starts to calm down. The stress hormones start to leave. So we can do all that in any moment of the day to switch up stressful breathing, stressful mind into calm breathing, calm mind. But one little exercise that is really powerful to help us kind of when we're feeling, when you're feeling very stressed, it's hard to just come into that calm state very quickly. But if you do this breathing, it can help just switch it. So it's an inhale through the nose, expanding through the lungs as much as possible. Pause, and then another little sip of inhale. And then a big for as long as you can out through the mouth. And when we go out through the mouth for that long, you can feel down here, diaphragm and lower part of the lungs, which is lovely for the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's why it would be a breath thought. In anxious moments, you would see this, take a slow, deep breath in when you're getting into cold water, when women are in labor. But the double inhale is really effective for opening up all the airways and the sacs in the lungs, and then the long exhale. So you only need to do about, let's say, 5 of them, and it should bring you back to a kind of more calmer state. So let's practice together. It's a big inhale through the nose, filling up the lungs. And then another little inhale. And then a big long sigh, exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, feel the lungs expand. Pause when you think you're at the top of the inhale, and then take another little inhale. And then a nice long sigh, exhale out through the mouth as long as you can. Let it all go, feel the release. And again, inhale. Pause. Another inhale. And then a slow. Practice 2 more. And then back to regular breathing whenever you're ready. Just notice if you do feel any changes. Do you feel a little bit calmer? Do you notice the body feeling a bit more relaxed? Do you feel a little bit more energy? All of these things can happen with breathing, be more conscious of our breath and breathing more functionally as we calm the nervous system back down. And with continued practice, it becomes easier to kind of switch into, or that will become your more normal breath. So just to recap on dysfunctional breathing, not good for your health. Maybe restricted posture or mouth breathing, fast, in and out through the mouth, upper chest. So that's all not great for your health, will bring you into stress mode, will create tension in the body, won't bring enough oxygen into your cells, so won't bring enough energy into your body, and will cut off systems working properly in the body. When we're in high stress mode, it's fight or flight response, and some of the systems in the body can kind of go on standby. Digestive system, for instance, will slow down. So that's why when we're highly stressed, there can be digestive issues, gut health issues. But when we're nice and relaxed, the digestion works properly, and that's why it's called rest and digest. So you've got fight or flight and then rest and digest. When we're in this mode, rest and digest mode, all the systems in the body can work efficiently. So just by breathing slowly, equally, we can enhance all the health of the body. Our bodies can work more efficiently. So good posture, open, breathing low, diaphragm, ribs, breathing in and out through the nose, breathing lightly, less air, and equal breaths, whatever you're comfortable with, working up to 5 seconds, inhale and exhale. So the last thing that we'll do is one of my favorite pillars of positive psychology, gratitude practice. And when we're after kind of calming down the mind with our breath, it's a perfect time to do it, because you think of the busy, frantic mind, not really a great time to try and meditate or do gratitude practice. But when you're here in the nice, calm, kind of spacious mind, much more beneficial. So when we focus on things that we are grateful for in our lives, or remind ourselves of what we have, you're creating new neural pathways in the brain to experience more joy in life and look for more joy and look for things to be grateful for and to appreciate. When we're caught in that negative loop, we can't see as much. It's easier just to ruminate and think, I don't have this and I don't have that and I'm not good enough. And all those negative thoughts can just go round and round and round. So just like we can interrupt the breath from being fast and anxious, we can interrupt the thoughts from being negative and not creating a nice feeling in the body. So thoughts will show up as emotions, emotions will show up as feelings, feelings will show up as actions. So if we can bring more awareness to our thoughts, which when we're focusing on the breath, that will train awareness itself. So you're training the muscle of awareness. And so it will help to notice when the mind is caught in that anxious, stressful, negative space. And then you'll be able to sit back and say, this isn't really beneficial for me. So doing a little gratitude practice every day can train the brain, can change the shape of the brain, can create new neural pathways in the brain. Instead of going down this one, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough, it'll create a lovely new pathway here. I have a beautiful family, I have my health, I live in a lovely country that's safe. And if you keep training the brain to have those thoughts, you'll be more likely to go down this pathway than this one. So eventually, with practice, you can actually enhance your whole experience of life and change your personality if you have, which most of us do, have more negative bias, because that's just the way we're designed, unfortunately. So we'll come back and do some light breathing for a minute, and then we'll just focus on some things in our life that we're grateful for, to have a little gratitude meditation to finish the practice. So just make yourself comfortable again. Close the eyes and breathe in lightly and equally. And then bring awareness to your heart. Bring a little smile to your face. And then we're just noticing how we're feeling, and hopefully you feel calm and peaceful and warm, and just bringing some appreciation to that feeling. I feel grateful that I feel calm and safe and warm and peaceful. Just noticing the feeling in your body, and that you created this feeling yourself through your breath. So some gratitude to yourself for your body, for working efficiently, for all the systems in your body that helps you every day, even when we're not bringing awareness to them. Gratitude to yourself for showing up to do this practice to enhance your health and well-being and frame of mind. Gratitude to yourself, which we don't often give. Tell yourself well done. Give yourself some appreciation. Notice the feeling of pride. That you're doing your best. that you are a good person, gratitude for your health. I am grateful for my health, being able to be here today, feeling well enough to do these little practices. Grateful for my body, for working well, keeping me healthy and strong, for my immune system. For my strength and resilience. Whatever life brings, that you're strong enough, that you have got through it, and you will continue to get through whatever you need to. Grateful for all of your health. And grateful for the people in your life that support and love you. Grateful for the people that show up, ask you how you are. The people that give you hugs and check in with you. That help you out. Just reminding yourself that you have people to support you and that care about you, and just feeling gratitude for that. And feeling grateful for being in a safe place, for having a home, for having a nice community, for being free in the country that we live in. All of the privileges that we easily take for granted and forget in the busyness of life. Grateful for my home and my safety and my freedom. Grateful for the body and the mind that I have, that I can experience joy and peace whenever I choose to. I appreciate my body and my mind. I appreciate the awareness that I have. Just reminding yourself of all of those wonderful things that you have around you, that you have access to, that you're enough without anything else. Feeling the warmth and contentment that that can bring. And taking a breath. Opening the eyes whenever you're ready. And hopefully bringing that appreciative, joyful, loving, grateful mindset into the day ahead, and keeping the peace, choosing to maintain your own peace. So the more that we do these little practices, they're little and simple, but so powerful and impactful that the more that you do them, it's like training yourself to keep the peace. And then when life comes in and tries to throw you off, or somebody comes in and tries to throw you off, that you can maintain you can stay in the peaceful moment. You can choose to not give your peace away easily. Well done.